footprints. Imagine something. New England has had a blizzard that has dumped several feet of snow. Make a footprint now, and you're more like making a leg print. Now you're knee-deep in snow. Take the other foot and lightly tap the surface of the snow. It makes a footprint, but much less. Which footprint will be quicker to disappear? Obviously the smaller and less deep one. In a similar sense, we make ecological footprints. An ecological footprint is how one measures their impact on the environment. In essence, how many worlds would it take if everyone lived like you? For the United States, the average footprint is 5 planet Earths. This footprint is impacted by the energy we use, the food we eat, and the lifestyles we partake. Everything we do impacts the world around us. Because the world's supply of non-energy renewable sources are just that, non-renewable. Everyone can and should take part in changing their lifestyles for the sustainability and longevity of the world. Why is this important? The majority of the energy we have used until recently was coming from non-renewable resources, oil and coal. First off, these are non-renewable resources. And it is expected that oil production will peak and begin to decline before 2030, most likely 2020. While it seems so far away, it's really closer than it looks. Many of the people in our generation will be having children by then. We have to wonder, how do we want to leave this planet for our children and grandchildren? Non-renewable energy sources also have unpleasant side effects. The first one is pollution. Other ones include toxic byproducts, which have additional negative impacts on the environment. The combination of the fact that the resources are non-renewable and the unpleasant side effects negatively impact the ecological footprint. There are several easy ways to become more energy conscious. Changing your light bulbs to energy efficient ones, shutting off unused appliances, and washing clothes in cold water rather than hot are some simple examples. Every time you flip on a light switch, electricity is used. The regular light bulb uses between 70 and 150 watts of electricity. Energy efficient light bulbs use between 25 and 45 watts, but create the same amount of light. While I can't explain the science behind these energy efficient light bulbs, I can recommend them from experience. The bulbs work just as well, if not better, in my personal opinion. Every light in my home runs off energy efficient light bulbs. One of the greatest things about these light bulbs is, while they do run a little more expensive at first, they do save you money and are made to last approximately 5 years. Another easy way to lower your impact on the world is by shutting off lights and appliances when you're no longer using them. While it may only save a few dollars a month, it will save pounds of carbon emissions. These carbon emissions are what create pollution that everyone is trying to prevent. There's absolutely no point in leaving lights and appliances plugged in and turned on when you're not around. Rather, this is only a result of being careless. It's instinctive to wash your clothes on warm and cold water, but you could simply be saving the planet from tons of pollution by simply washing on cold water. The reason is it saves so much energy is because water doesn't just come out hot. It has to be heated through the water heater. Most people seem to forget that step. Nonetheless, washing your laundry on a cold cycle can save approximately 160 pounds of carbon emissions per person per year. That's the equivalent of 8 gallons of gas. But 160 miles in your car can be saved by washing your clothes in cold water rather than hot. So as you can see, if nothing else, I'm calling you on to help encourage the sustainability of our planet through a few simple methods that are hard to refuse. For someone who is enthusiastic about doing what they can to reduce their ecological footprint, there are changes one can additionally make in their living environment. Energy Star sells appliances that are created to reduce energy and water uses by 10 to 50% from typical appliances. Energy Star water heaters can save between $30 and $140 a year against a standard water heater. If everyone in the U.S. purchasing a standard gas water heater this year chose a qualified gas storage model instead, we would prevent 1 billion pounds of carbon dioxide from entering the atmosphere. the equivalent of creating 132,000 acres of forest. Programming your thermostat is an additional way to lower heating and cooling costs, as well as reduce energy usage. The DOE recommends setting thermostats cooling to 78 degrees and heating to 68 degrees. Nevertheless, if you do use a manual thermostat, it is best not to change the temperature more than 3 degrees at a time. Also, if you are leaving home for more than a day, it is recommended to set your cooling to come on 10 or 15 degrees warmer than normal. The opposite goes for heating. Another way to help the environment is to buy local foods from a farmer's market. People often overlook the impact of their eating habits on the environment. Besides from production, the transportation of food takes an additional toll on the environment. The complaint is often that it costs more to buy local. And while that may be true, it is important to keep in mind that you can save tons of carbon emissions and pollution by buying local produce. Buying locally helps prevent pollution caused by transportation through trucking, trains, and air travel. Doesn't it seem like saving the planet was always made out to be a much harder task? I hope you've seen that is not the case. Helping to create a sustainable planet can be as simple as changing a light bulb. Everyone can and should do it. It's not only the planet, but to help your wallet. There's no reason not to do something.